the fifth canto, second chapter. So 5.2.2, the activities of Maharaj Agnidra. The chapter is entitled The Activities of Maharaj Agnidra. Verse number 2, 5.2.2. So this is the verse 5.2.2. Sacha kadachit pitraloka kamaha sarvavara vanita kridachala dronyam bhagavantam vishwasrijam patim abrita परिचार्योपकरण आत्मैका गृह्येन तपस व्याराधयाम बभूव सचा कदाचित पितृलोक कामः सुरवरा वनिता क्रीडाचला द्रोण्यम भगवंतं विश्वसृजां पतिम आवृता परिचार्योपकरण आत्मैका गृह्येन तपस व्याराधयाम बभूव सच कदाचित पितृलोक कामः सुरावरा वनिता क्रीडाचला द्रोण्यम भगवंतं विश्वसृजां पतिम आवृता परिचार्योपकरण आत्मैका गृह्येन तपस्व्या राधयाम बभूव. So, and someone can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Sacha kadachit pitraloka kama suravara vanita kriya chala dronyam bhagavatam vishwasrijam patim abrita paricharya upakarana atmaika griyena tapasvi aradhyam babuba. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am also here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sacha kadachit pitriloko kamaha suravara vanita kriya chalo dronyam bhagavantam vishwasrijam pritimabrita paricharyopakarana atmaikagrena tapasyaradhanayam bahuva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sacha kadachit pitriloka kamaha suravara bonita krida chala dronyam bhagavantam vishwasrijam patimavrita poricharyo upakarana atmoika grena tapasya radhayam bobhuva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. I am also
Hare
reading.
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Sacha kadachit pitra loka kamo surabara bonita krida chaladronang bhagavantang vishwasrijang patima brita paricharya pakarana atmoika grena tapasya radhayam bhavuva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. May I
Hare
try
Krishna.
to?
Yes, please Mataji.
साचा कदाचित् पितृलोककामः सुरवर वनित आक्रीडा आचल द्रोणयाम् भगवन्तं विश्वश्रीजां पतिम् आवृत परिचार्योपाकार्न आत्मैक आग्रयेण तपस्या आराधयां बभूव. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, so anyone else wants to try? Okay, so let's look at the next verse. The word by word meaning. So someone can read this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please Mataji.
So he, King Agnidra, Cha also, Kadachit, once upon a time, Pitraloka, the Pitrilok planet, Kamaha, desiring, Suravara, of the great demigods, Bonita, the woman, Akrida, the place of pastimes, Ocholo Dronyam, in one valley of the Mandaru hill, Bhagavantam unto the most powerful Lord Brahma, Vishwa Srijam of personalities who have created this universe, Patim the master, Avrita having collected, Puricharya Upakaranaha, ingredients for worship, Atma the mind, Eka Agrena with full attention, Tapasvi one who executes austerity, Aradhayam Babhuva became engaged in worshipping. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. And let's look at the translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Desiring to get a perfect son and become an inhabitant of Pitriloka, Maharaj Agnidhra once worshipped Lord Brahma, the master of those in charge of material creation. He went to a valley of Mandara hill, where the damsels of the heavenly planets come down to stroll. There he collected garden flowers and others necessary paraphernalia, and then engaged in severe austerities and worship. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji, can you share the purport and someone can read it?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm just sharing.
May I,
Purport.
Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Madhav.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you can carry on.
Peppered by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king became Pitralokam, or desirous of being transferred to the planet named Pitralok. Pitralok is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Yanti Deva Vrita Devan Pitrin Yanti Pitra Vritaha. To go to this planet, one needs very good sons who can make offerings to Lord Vishnu and then offer the remnants to their forefathers. The purpose of the Shraddha ceremony is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, so that after pleasing him, one may offer prasad to one's forefathers and in this way make them happy. The inhabitants of Pitraloka are generally men of the Karma Kandya or fruitive activities category who have been transferred there because of their pious activities. They can stay there as long as their descendants offer them Vishnu Prasad. Everyone in heavenly planets such as Pitralok, however, must return to it after executing the effects of his pious activities as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.21. Chine punye mritya lokam vishanti. Persons who perform pious acts are transferred to higher planets, but when the effect of their pious acts are over, they are again transferred to earth. Somebody can continue from there.
Hare Krishna. Since
Thank
Maharaj
you, Prabhuji.
is a great devotee, how can he have begotten a son who desired to be transferred to Pitrilok? Lord Krishna says, Pitrim yanti Pitarbrata. Persons who desire to go to Pitrilok are transferred there. Similarly, yanti mat yojina apimam. Persons who desire to be transferred to the spiritual planet Vaikuntha can also go there. Since Maharaja Agnitra was the son of a Vaishnava, he should have desired to be transferred to the spiritual world Vaikuntha Lok. Why then did he desire to be transferred to Pitilok? In answer to this, Goswami Giridhara, one of the Bhagavatam commentator, remarks that Agnitra was born when Maharaja Priyavrati was infatuated by lusty desires. This may be accepted as a fact because sons are begotten with different mentalities according to the time of their conception. According to the Vedic system, therefore, before a child is conceived, the Garbhadan Sanskar is performed. This ceremony molds the mentality of the father in such a way that when he plants his seed in the womb of his wife, he will beget a child whose mind will be completely saturated with devotional attitude. At the present moment, however, there are no such Garbhadan Sanskars, and therefore people generally have a lusty attitude when they beget children, especially in the age of Kali. There are no Garbhodan Sanskar ceremonies. Everyone enjoys sex with his wife like a cat or dog. Therefore, according to Shastric injunctions, almost all the people of this age belong to the Shudra category. Of course, although Maharaja Agnitra had a desire to be transferred to Pitralok, this does not mean that his mentality was that of a Shudra. He was a Kshatriya. Maharaja Agnitra desired to be transferred to Pitralok and therefore he needed a wife because anyone desiring to be transferred to Pitralok must leave behind a good son to offer yearly pinda or prasada from Lord Vishnu. To have a good son, Maharaja Agnitra wanted a wife from a family of demigods. Therefore, he went to Mandara Hill, where the women of the demigods generally come to worship Lord Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita 4.12, it is said, Kangshat, sorry, Kanakshan Shanta Manam Siddhim Jajanta Iya Devata, materialistic who want quick results in the material world worship demigods. This is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Oishwarya Prajeshva, those who desire beautiful wife, substantial wealth, and many sons worship the demigod. But an intelligent devotee, instead of being entangled by the happiness of this material world in the form of a beautiful wife, material opulence, and children, desires to be immediately transferred back home, back to Godhead. Thus, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtavutana Srimati Radha Govinda Goswami Nitinandini. Namaste Prabhupada Devam Gauravani Prachani Rasa Srinivadi Grama Jani Nistari Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtavutana Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinandini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Deshitarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So we are looking at this second verse from the second chapter of the fifth canto, and of course this chapter talks about Maharaj Agnidra. The previous chapter actually spoke about the activities of Maharaj Priyavrata, who is the father of Agnidra. So these activities of Agnidra and previously activities of Priyavrata. And Priyavrata, of course, is one of the sons of a great personality who is one of the Mahajanas. Who's this personality?
Swayambhu Manu.
Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu is a Mahajan. And he, of course, is the father of two sons, Priyavrat and
Uttanpada.
Uttanpad had a great son, whose name
Dhruva Maharaj.
is Dhruva Maharaj. Of course, there's another son. What was the name of the other son?
Uttama.
Uttama. So Uttama and Dhruva, they are sons of Uttanpad, and Priyavrat is mentioned so in this previous verse. So previous verse also talks about the number of sons he had. He had a total of how many sons?
12 sons, one daughter.
No, 13 sons.
10 sons.
13. So 10 sons from one wife and 3 from another.
Yeah. And one
So
daughter.
10 and 3, that's 13, and one daughter.
Yeah.
Right? One daughter, and that daughter was also great daughter, and she was married to one great personality. He was married to Sukracharya.
Shukracharya, yeah.
Sukracharya, correct. Sukracharya, and we have heard the story of Devyani. So Devyani was the daughter of Sukracharya and the daughter of
Priyavrata.
Priyavrata Maharaj. So Sukracharya is Priyavrat Maharaj's
Son-in-law.
son-in-law. Right? So we know Sukracharya is great. Is a great personality, and he is also the son-in-law of Priyavrat Maharaj. So, and out of the 10 sons, we know that in the case of Manu Maharaj, Priyavrat did not want to take part in worldly affairs, Priyavrat Maharaj. But later on, of course, Lord Brahma convinced him. Naraji had preached him so nicely, and because of that, he was very, very renounced. But and when there was no one to look after the kingdom, then Brahmaji had to come and convince him to take the kingdom. So he did take the kingdom, and he had 10 sons and one daughter from one wife, and then he had 3 sons from another wife, and they were all very great personalities. So 13 sons and one daughter from Uttan Priyavrat. From Uttan Pad only, how many sons?
2 sons. 2 sons.
2 sons. So one had 2 sons and one had 13 sons. So it doesn't mean that Priyavrat is too attached because he has too many sons. It's not like that. Because we see that Uttanpad had only 2 sons, but we could see that he had so much attachment to
his wife.
Suruchi. And we also know that when Suruchi was insulting his little 5-year-old son, with very, very harsh words, Uttanpad actually did not say anything. And also we can see that when Sunita, the mother of who?
Dhruva.
Dhruva. When Dhruva went to the mother said, whatever your grandfather has achieved. Who's the grandfather?
Swayambhu Manu.
Swayambhu Manu. Whatever your grandfather has achieved is because of only the Lord, because of Lord's mercy. And because whatever your great-grandfather has achieved, who's the great-grandfather? Brahma. He had attained the power of creation. He could create so many beautiful things. He could create the whole Vishwa. It is only through the mercy of the Lord. So with if someone gets the mercy of the Lord, there's nothing impossible. Sunita actually doesn't say anything about Uttanpad. So Uttanpad, although he was a great king and his son was Dhruva, he was not as great as his brother, whose name is
Priyavrata.
Priyavrat was a great personality. He was very, very great personality, and Priyavrat was one who got to associate with very, very great devotees. We know that initially he was instructed by
Narad.
His father,
Naradji.
Narad Muni, yeah.
Naradji. And then Naradji is a Mahajan. And then later on, he got instructed by
His father, then Brahma.
Father Manu Maharaj, who's also a Mahajan. And Brahmaji, who's also
Another Mahajan.
Mahajan. He got an opportunity to associate three Mahajanas, and get instructions from the three Mahajanas. And so he was very, very fortunate, and he did accept Grihastha ashram, and he had 13 sons, one daughter, but out of the 13 sons, first wife had 10 sons, and then those out of the 10 sons, 3 of them actually accepted the renounced order of life. They became sannyasis. 3 of them became sannyasis. So there were 7 left. So 7 he gave the kingdom of the 7 islands to the 7 sons. And then also to the 3 of them, other 3, Uttam, Tamas, and Raivat, they actually became Manus. They attained very, very high positions called Manu positions. In 3 Manvantaras, 3 different Manvantaras, they became Manus. So that's the greatness of Priyavrat Maharaj. Of course, also Priyavrat Maharaj was so great, and through his devotional service, he was just like, by the power of devotion, by the power of his yog bal, we see that Kardam Rishi was able to create a big aerial mansion, which would go to anywhere in the universe. We see similarly, this Priyavrat was able to, what was he able to do?
He can.
In 7 ocean.
Yes, he actually.
He can make night to day. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji?
He can make night to day, and he makes summer from winter.
Yeah, yes. He could. The places where there were dark, he could actually make it.
Sunshine, light.
Yes, he could. Through his own potency, he was able to, dissipate the darkness in those areas and make it more brighter. So that was his potency. Through his devotion, he could do that. So a very, very great personality, and his pastimes or his different activities are mentioned earlier on. So in the previous chapter, that's mentioned. So 3 of his sons took sannyas. 7 of them were the rulers. Agnidra was also one of the rulers, made one of the rulers, and 3 of them will accept the position of the Manus in 3 different Manvantars. Now, one of the sons, Agnidra, the oldest son of Priyavrat, is mentioned here in this chapter. That's why we have the activities of Maharaj Agnidra. So Agnidra, in the previous verse, it's mentioned. This is the second verse. The previous verse, it's mentioned that how he what he did. He looked after all the citizens, just like his own son. Yeah, he was like a father to all the children, and he follows, observe the religious principles. And but he departed to the forest to perform austerities. And then in this verse, it is mentioned why he actually departed to perform austerities. Why did he go? Sacha kadachit pitraloka kama. Kadachit, once upon a time. So what happened is he desired to he saha Pitraloka Kama. Why did he go?
To go to
What was the,
Pitrulok because his son he wants to beget the son.
yeah, because he was desiring to go to Pitralok. He had Pitraloka Kama. Huh? Right, so because he wanted to go to Pitralok, and because to go to Pitralok, you need a son, right? Who will be, because if you go to Pitralok and the son doesn't do the Shrad, then you will not get the Prashadam there. You won't get your food. So you need a son. And to need a son, if you want to get a son, then you need a
Wife.
wife. So Pitraloka Kama. Huh? So Sacha Kadachit Pitraloka Kama. Huh? And Suravar Vanita, Survar Vanita means, Vanita means the ladies. Suravara means of the great devatas.
Demigods.
Suravara. The great devatas, Vanita means women. Akrida, so he went where? Akrida Chaladroniam. He went to the place where these women of the devatas' wives or devatas' daughters, they actually playing place of pastimes for the Suravara Vanita. And so place is actually Mandara Hill. He goes to that place. He doesn't go to a very quiet place or Madhuvan or some special holy place, Vrindavan. He goes to the place where they perform their pastimes. Those ladies, they perform their, they play there. And there, Bhagwantam Vishwasrijam. Vishwasrijam means of the people who create this universe, the person who is very, very powerful out of them is Brahmaji. So Vishwasrijam, of all those personalities, the most famous of them is Lord Brahma for creating. So that's why his name is Vishwasrijam Patim the master. And then he collected Abrita, Charya, Upkaran. So he collected all the ingredients for Upkaran for Paricharya. Paricharya means for the
Worship.
worship.
Puja for worship.
Puja, for the worship. He collected all the ingredients. And then he tapasya aradhyam abhuva. What he did? He became engaging in the worship in that place. Which is the place? Mandara.
Mandara Hill.
Mandara Hill. In the Mandara Hill, the valley called in the Mandara Hill. So he started performing his austerities. So this, the translation in Prabhupada writes, desiring to get a perfect son and become an inhabitant of Pitralok, Maharaj Agnidra once worshipped Lord Brahma. So the master of those in charge of material creation. He went to a valley of Mandara Hill, where the damsels of heavenly planets come to down to stroll. There he collected garden flowers and other necessary paraphernalia, and then engaged in severe austerities and worship. So here, he is son of a great personality, Aganidra. But he is performing austerities. For what purpose? We know that we've heard earlier about Maharaj Priyavrat. Maharaj Priyavrat He was a great personality, and what destination did he achieve?
Vaikuntala.
Yeah, he went to the spiritual world. But here, someone is his son, and he is performing austerities for Pitra Loka Kama. The son of a great devotee is performing austerities for Pitra Loka Kama. Should it be Pitra Loka Kamaha or Vaikuntha Loka Kamaha or Goloka Vrindavan Kamaha? What it should be? Because if someone is a great personality, then you expect that the great personality son also uh, to be great. Isn't it true?
Yes.
It is expected. It is expected, but sometimes it's not like that. It's not that we see that when I was the king, son of a great personality, when I was king, when I was the son of who?
Anga.
Anga. Anga was a great king, but his son, he was not great. So we see, for example, Ravan. Ravan was his father was a great personality. What was the name of the father?
Vishrava Muni.
Vishrava. And his father's father was also very great. What was the name of the father's father or grandfather? Pulastya. Pulastya. And his father's father, so grandfather was great, his father was great, his grandfather was great, his great-grandfather was great. Great-grandfather is?
Brahma.
So they were all great personalities. But we can see Ravan he was not a great personality. So here, Prabhupada writes that one of the commentators on this verse says about King Aganidra. Why that happened? We can see that there are many faults in Aganidra. Later on, we'll see the faults coming up. So one of it is that he is Pitraloka Kama. Is that a fault or not?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's one fault. Is Pitraloka Kama. Although being a son of the great personality, Priyavrat, he's Pitraloka Kama. And number two, we will see later on that he has got another problem, that is
From his father, when he has done the last desire.
yeah. Yes, of course, yeah. Yeah, so that's because the birth was
Not
when he was conceived. Then it's mentioned that his father was lusty. We see that, for example, when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were born, then the mother was
Aditi.
Diti.
Diti.
Diti was lusty, and also two things were there in her.
And the
Was
timings.
No, she was also envious. She was lusty and envious. And then the father actually also, he was influenced by the lust. So then we can see Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha born. So here we can see, for example, here Agnidra, it's mentioned that Priyavrat Maharaj, although he was a great devotee, but at the time of conception, what happened is he became lusty at the time of, because he's the oldest son. He's the oldest of all the others, because 10 sons were born. So he's the oldest at that time. He became a bit lusty, and then his one of the sons. He became. He also had some material desires, and the desire is to go to the Pitralok. To go to the Pitralok, and also we'll see later on the second fault is he was very, very expert at flattering. You know what flattering means?
False praising.
Yeah, false praising. Who was he praising?
Praising to his wife.
Yeah, and wife to be. Right? So he was pleasing, we know that Brahmaji sent one Apsara whose name was
Purvachitti.
Purvachitti.
Purvachitti was sent, and he was flattering, praising. What should he be doing? Should he be, if you look at his, if you look at, for example, a little child, Dhruva Maharaj, he goes to perform austerities. We can see what his desire was. Of course, he had a very great material desire, but we don't, he goes for what purpose? To get the kingdom greater than that of his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. And he performs very severe austerities in the forest, only when he's 5 years old. And he gets purified from the desires, actually. And then Lord does give him, what does Lord give him? He gives him one planet called
Dhruvalok.
So that's actually, and he glorified the Lord. Of course, he glorifies the Lord, and here we can see he is glorifying some Purvachitti, some heavenly lady, because the tongue is meant not for glorification of someone's beauty, but glorification of whose beauty?
His
Supreme
wife.
Lord's beauty.
Lord's beauty. So that's what the tongue is meant for, to glorifying the Lord, how beautiful he is, how merciful he is, chanting his name, Nam Sankirtan, Guna Sankirtan, Leela Sankirtan, his pastimes. Right? So all this is the purpose of the tongue. Right? So, but he was glorifying Purvachitti, and and then he got attached, and here Prabhupada writes at the end of the purport as well, at the end of the purport, that he he actually, he was interested in the Pitralok, and later on, of course, he goes to the Swargalok at the end. It goes to the Pitralok. The problem with the Pitralok is, Lord Krishna is saying that what happens if one goes to the heavenly planets through the pious activities, what happens?
When pious activities finish, they will come back to Martalok.
Yeah. Ine punya martalokam vishanti. When the piety is finished, then one has to fall down. So we can see that this is not a place where you can live forever. And if you are in Pitralok, then you have to be dependent on your sons. You become dependent on your sons. You're not dependent on the Lord. You become dependent on your sons for the Shraddh. And so it's all happening here because of Priyavrat Maharaj's lusty desire at the time of conception. We see also there's another in Narsingha Puran. In Narsingha Puran, it's mentioned how Prahlad actually became a great devotee. There are different stories, of course, we know that. But in Narsingha Puran, it's mentioned that when Hiranyakashipu went to perform severe austerities, at that time, Lord Brahma was very, very disturbed because he was performing very, very severe austerities. So Brahma became a bit anxious. And Naradji said, what's wrong with you? You don't look very happy. Naradji asked Brahmaji. Brahmaji said, because Hiranyakashipu has gone to perform very, very severe austerities, I'm a bit concerned how he can stop performing austerities. And Naradji said, you shouldn't worry because you should depend on the Lord. Something will, Lord is in everyone's heart, and the Lord will give you the right intelligence. And I will also try to see if I can help. And then what he did, he went with his friend. His name is Parvat Muni. We know that Parvat Muni is always with Naradji, or most of the time with Naradji. So with Parvat Muni, he assumes the form of a bird. Have you heard this story?
No.
No. So this is mentioned in Narsimha Puran. I've got this Puran here also. So it is Narsimha Puran. Yeah. It is Narsimha Puran. 41वां अध्याय. 41 means
41.
41.
Yeah. 41वां 41st 41st chapter 41 is mentioned from in Narsingha Puran. So then what he does is he assumes the form of bird together with his friend. So two birds go, and where Hiranyakashipu was performing austerities, these two birds actually chant the name of Lord. So both of them say 3 times, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. 3 times they say, and then they're leaving that place, and Hiranyakashipu actually stopped his austerities. He was disturbed that someone has, chanted the name of Narayan. So he runs with his bow and arrow. He wanted to shoot the birds, but he couldn't catch them. They went in some other direction, Naradji and Parvat Muni. And then he returned home. And at that time, the time was right for conception. So he comes home and he comes to the inner chambers where his wife was, Kayadu was. And he actually, when the time was actually right for conception, his wife is asking him why he came back when he went for austerities. And he says that, he tells the whole story that, he was performing austerities, and there were two birds who came, they were sitting on a tree, and they were saying, Om Namo Narayanaya. And at that time, Prahlad was conceived. At that right time, the conception took place at that time when Hiranyakashipu was chanting this mantra. And so it's mentioned in that Narsingha Puran. That's why Prahlad had that consciousness. We know that we have had in many other stories as well. But we can see the difference when one has got, if one has lusty desires, then a different kind of child or a different kind of soul will be attracted. And if one is envious or has lusty desire, again different kind of soul will be attracted. When that's why Prabhupada actually talks about the Garbhadana Sanskar.
Yeah.
It's so important because um, if the consciousness of both the husband and the wife is correct, then the great souls will be attracted. So one will give birth to a great child. So here Agnidra has Pitraloka Kamaha for that purpose, Prabhupada writes. And he goes to perform austerities to please Lord Brahma. And then, of course, Brahmaji gives him a wife. We know that. We see Karda Muni also. He also wanted a wife. Karda Muni also wanted a wife. Who chose the wife for him?
Lord.
Never.
Lord.
Lord himself. Lord Vishnu himself chose a wife for him. He said that, Manu Maharaj will bring his daughter Devahuti, you accept. And Lord was pleased, very, very pleased with Kardam Muni's austerities. And Kardam Muni had Lord himself, actually. Kardam Muni did not say that you become my son. Did Kardam Muni ask that, can you, I would like you to become my son?
No.
He did not. But Lord said, I will become your son as well. So this is the difference we can see. They also went, or he also went to find a wife, but Lord himself chose a wife for him. Here Brahma is sending a wife, and then he starts flattering and false praise, and then because of that she gets attracted, and then they get married, and then he was very, very attached to the wife as well. So this is the story of Agnidra. So this, we can speak more, but we don't have that much time. We've got another 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you can, if you have any questions, or what are some of the things we understand from this verse, or what did we learn from the discussion? Anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
So,
Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
wonderful explanation of different angles of this text. Yeah, the main thing is your desire, especially in the time of conception. What is your desire to? Yeah, that totally gives the direction. What kind of child you are getting into. That's why this most important thing. Here we can see how Agnidra became infatuated by the lusty desire, and that has given a son like that so that he can go to Pitrilo. So that was his desire. So the clear indication is there. So important is the Garbhadana Sanskar. In the Vedic times, people used to use this method to get a devotee child. But now we can see in this material age that because of the lusty nature, the born child are of Shudra quality. So these are the differences we can see from these texts. How the desire of a person can change the whole structure of the next generation.
Yes, very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Very nice. Yes. Yeah. So we can see Priyavrat Maharaj, just like lusty desire, is one of the Acharya says, and then a child like Agnidra is born, who has got some faults as well in him. Pitraloka Kamaha, when he should be having Golok Vrindavan Kamaha or Vaikuntha Loka Kamaha. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Nice explanation, and I have learned that new things today, how Prahlad got the God consciousness. And just my question is that those who are going to Pitraloka, can they get liberation? Can they go to the spiritual world or by their sun activity, or how they can go?
If they are, if the sons actually become devotees,
Mm-hmm.
then they will get freedom from the
Pitra.
Pitraloka, because Pitraloka is just like a waiting place.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can, from Pitraloka, they can go to Swargaloka. And then, but then again, they have to fall down because they, unless they get purified from these desires, they cannot go to the supreme abode. They can't go to Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan. But when the son actually becomes a devotee, the children become devotee, and then they can come down and they can be born in some good families, and then they can actually progress from there. So this Pitralok is not a place where, or Swargalok is not a place from where one can directly go to the spiritual world.
Okay.
They have to come down and purify themselves.
Mm-hmm. They have to
Yeah.
come back here.
Yeah, even the devotees, forget about the people who go to the Swargalok, even the devotees who haven't completed, they haven't achieved perfection in devotional service, they have to be born also. They can go to the Swargalok and be there for a long time. Prapya punikritam lokanushita shashwati sama suchinam shrimatam gehe yoga brashto vijayata. Yoga brashta people. They have to come back and they have to be born in a good family, wealthy family, and pious family, so that they can continue their devotion, can continue their purification. And if they have done a lot of devotional service, then atva yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimata etadhi durlabharam loke janmaya didrisham. Then if they have performed a lot of devotional service, then still they have to be born in a family of devotees to get fully purified. So people who are karma kandis, then they have material desires, they go to the Pitralok. Prabhupada says that karma kandis actually go there. So if they have gone to Pitralok, they still have to come back and purify themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they can straight away go to the Vaikuntha Lok from there. No. They have to get purified from those desires. They still have so many desires. If they want to go to the Pitralok and they depend on their children, and so that's they're not purified yet. They have to get purified from their desires. And these planets, upper planets, are not meant for actually purification. The purification actually happens here where we are now.
Good. Thank you, Prabhu. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam, Prabhu.
Thank you very much for your nice, insightful class and covering so much of detail. Probably just one question I had. When Priyavrata was earlier, he was there. Like Brahmaji gave him advice initially when Priyavrata refused to accept the request of his father. Brahmaji gave him advice. So I was just wondering, like, in case of his son Agnidra, he was again closely related to Priyavrata. So just wondering, like, why Brahmaji did not give him the advice? Like, he sent him the Apsara, but he did not give him advice on the on like what he should aim for. Yeah.
It is very much like Naraji, or we know that not Naraji, actually, it was who has the son Harsh and Shok, and did not have a son, but he was very, very distressed. What was the name of that king? Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj, when Angira Rishi initially went, so he wanted to give him spiritual instruction, but he was not ready at that time. So he did not give him. And he just, he wanted to have a son. So he gave him a son. Of course, he said, that son will give him happiness and distress both. So he thought, at least I'll have a son. And then later on, when the son dies, then he gives Naraji comes and they give spiritual instructions. So because he was not ready at that time. If one is not ready, if one is very attached, for example, same with Dhritarashtra. Vidur is always instructing him. Does any instructions make any sense to Vidur?
No.
No. But later on, when all his sons die, and then when he's free from that attachment, then those instructions make sense to him. Because he is still, if a person is very, very lusty, or very, very angry, or very, very envious, it's very hard to, we see how many instructions were given to Ravan. How many people tried to instruct him? We can see how many people tried to, like Dhritarashtra was, so many people tried to instruct him, but Vidur was always trying to instruct him, but he was not. He was too much attached to the sons, and later on, it made sense to him. So here, Brahma is a qualified guru. He knows what is right for different people. So sometimes Brahmaji will instruct one on devotion, and other times, we can see he just sends Apsara here. So yes, his Pitraloka Kamaha. He wants a son. He wants a good wife. So Brahmaji fulfills that. But if he is Goloka Kamaha or Vaikuntha Kamaha and approaches Brahmaji, then Brahmaji will do the needful. Just like for Ravan, Kumbhakaran, and Vibhishan, all of them approached Brahma. Isn't it true? But Brahma gave them different things. Brahma gave devotion to Vibhishan, but what was Ravan interested in? Ravan was interested in
Material
not being killed. He was interested in immortality, so he got immortality in some sense. But of course, he had the exception of Vanaras and the humans. So it depends what one approaches Brahmaji for. Prabhuji, does it answer the question?
Yeah, no, yes, correct, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you very much for clarifying that.
Hare Krishna. So, anything else, anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one thing we have learned today that in the material world, we should always depend on the Lord, that then we'll get the correct instruction always, because the Lord always protect his devotees. So in this way, if we even ask something which is not favorable for us, the Lord will not give us. So we should always depend on the Lord and not for anyone, and not on our own ability as well, because we have very little limited ability, but the Lord is a well-wisher of his devotee, and he is all-powerful. So whenever he gives something, it is always for our benefit. Just as you have given the example of Kardamuni, that he was seeking wife, but Lord has provided him the best wife for him. In this way, if we always depend on the Lord and do not ask for him, the Lord will automatically fulfill our desire, because he does it for his devotees.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. The one thing about when we surrender unto the Lord is we also get purified from that desire. You get the desire fulfilled, and then you get purification also. You get purified. Like Dhruva had the desire fulfilled, but he became purified as well. Isn't it true?
Yeah,
So that's the difference. But when you approach, like for example, Lord Shiva was approached by Bhasmasur, Varikasur. What happened? Whatever he wanted, Brahmaji gave, but he was put into trouble. He died because of that. If he had not been given that benediction, he would be still alive.
Yes.
Isn't it true?
Yes.
But the benediction became the cause of his death. So, but Lord will not give you that kind of, will not fulfill that kind of desire. Lord will purify you if you are seriously taking shelter of the Lord and dependent on the Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you all the devotees. Shri Radha Girdhari Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Gaunitaya Bhagwan ki jai. श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान की जय।
की जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
की
जय।
जय।
His Grace Madhav Govind
Madhav
Prabhu
Govind
की
की
जय।
जय। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.